guys! So I recently got this in the mail. So this is going to be a video on how to pass your IGCSE Art exam, because I got an 86 and I'd say I'm quite average when it comes to drawing and creativity. So if you're looking for a video that explains you how to draw like really well, this is not the video for you because I'm pretty average. Also warning, this is not like a sketchbook video for your GCSE exam because my school didn't do coursework. But firstly, I'll explain how it works, because maybe the exam you're going to pass is quite similar to what I had to go through. So basically you have two papers. You have the interpretive, where they give you a very vague question or theme, and then you have to work on that theme. And then the second paper is the design paper, so you have to design anything, whether it's a costume or a label for a water bottle, I don't know. You get the exam paper on the 1st of January, and your exam is going to be around March or April. And then throughout the time you have to create prep work, and on the exam day you're given 8 hours to do a final piece. But also you then have to present all of your work on a piece of paper like this. You're given two pieces and it's double-sided, and then you do your final piece, also stick it on a piece of paper and send it to the examiners. So firstly, when you get the exam you might be a bit stressed. So I got a bit panicky because I was given a selection of different themes I could choose from, but I didn't like any of them. For the first paper I chose in the workplace, and for the second I chose to design a fashion kind of show titled Face to Face. If you don't quite know what to do at first, like I didn't, I suggest you go on like YouTube and DeviantArt and just get inspiration from the outside, because you're going to need it. Also, I suggest carrying around a sketchbook like this, so if you have an idea for what you want your final piece to look like, or for a piece of prep work, then you can quickly sketch it in here. For example, here I have just a sketch of what I wanted to do. When you have a vague idea of what you want to do, you have to start with observational. This is basically half your mark, so it has to be really good. And I know some people really like observational, and some people really hate like realistic drawing, so I mean, you just have to do it. Also take a lot of pictures, because you might include them in your actual exam, or you can just draw from them. So here are some pictures that I took for my first paper. For the second one I didn't include any actual pictures for my exam, but I did take a lot to draw from. Also for observational, since this is such an important part of your grade, you're going to want to pick a medium that you're comfortable in. Since you're given roughly 2 years to prepare for this exam, I think you kind of have a vague idea of what you're best at, but don't focus on only one medium a lot, so even if you're not that good at paint, you can like try your best. Also, I did a piece digitally because on the 1st of January I was on holiday and I didn't have any art supplies with me, so I just had my iPad. Also, a tip for observational, I have this problem that when I want to draw an object, I don't draw it how it is, but I draw it how I want it to be. So for example, if I see an eye, I just draw kind of like this shape because I think that's what an eye looks like, but in reality it's a bit more like maybe round. I suggest putting your picture in a drawing app. There's a really good one called Sketchbook, and basically you can create another layer and then draw over it with a bright colour, and then erase the photo layer so you can really see the shape. So you draw the shape and not like the actual thing, so it looks more proportional. It's quite a good technique, I have to say. It helped me a lot. So I took pictures of my lips, and I took a picture of my eye and then my friend's eye. But yeah, for the observational you really have to show like what you're good at and make it realistic. Also remember to twist the question around however you want it to, because you want to show the examiner what you do best. So for example, I didn't really know what to do in the workplace. I started looking at different workplaces and going to a shop and taking a picture of the cashier, but it wasn't really my thing. So I decided to focus on my workplace, so the workplace of an artist. So I sketched and I drew a lot of different like art supplies. This piece, for example, was my favourite. It took me like 4 hours. For my design paper, the question was also pretty vague, so my teacher interpreted it as designing the background and the decorations for the fashion show, but I'm more at ease at drawing costumes and clothes. So when you're done with observational, you'd want to move on to interpretive work. And when I say interpretive, I don't mean like move on straight onto abstract, because the main point of the exam is to show your development. So for example, you can do something that is semi-realistic and just add something to it. And here you really have to show like what you're capable of and all the different styles you can draw in and all the different techniques and mediums you can use. And don't focus on one style only, because you really have to show all the things you can do. Doing something in the style of an artist is really helpful as well. So for example, my favourite manga is Battle Royale, and I really love the art style. So I did a piece in the style of that artist, and it's actually my favourite piece from the whole thing. Also, use different mediums. Like, the examiner is really gonna love it if you use pencil and paint and just everything in one piece. So a really good thing to do is do a collage, because it really adds this dimension to your piece and this kind of like volume, I don't know. And by the end you can of course move on to abstract if that's what you're good at. Just really show all the things you can do. I did a drawing in Copics, in pencils. Just be creative, that's the thing. So when it comes to your final piece, don't stress out. I know like it's not gonna help by just saying it, but 8 hours is more than enough. And just try to relax, because if you chose art, then you probably enjoy drawing. So just sit there, drink your coffee, listen to your music. You know, it's gonna go well. Also, don't forget to use your prep work for the final piece. So, for example, if you want to draw a detailed eye in your final piece, you are not allowed to take a picture on the spot, like with your phone, and then draw from it. So you can use a piece of prep work that you did and draw an eye from it. Also for the final piece, you're going to have to use just everything you've kind of gathered in your prep work and put it into one. For my interpretive paper, I don't really like this one, I wasn't really inspired by it, but I decided to work on the idea that I want my drawings to come to life. But I did use a lot of different mediums. I used watercolour, pencil, Copics, markers. For my design paper, that I enjoyed a lot more, I also used a lot of mediums, as you can see. I used everything I could find. And I used this like 3D tape, I don't know what it's called, so that it like pops out. But yeah, I hope that helped. If you're going through your IGCSE exam, then don't stress out. If you liked my art, you can support me on my Patreon page that I will leave in the description. Also, please follow me on my Instagram, because that's where I post all of my arty stuff. And if you have any questions, you can message me and I'll always reply. So yeah.